delighted to be here and tell you a little bit about my view of what Web 2.0 is going to be like in the next 5 years. I do have some perspective that I can offer for two reasons. The first is because I'm coming straight from Silicon Valley in California, that often seems to be the epicenter of many of these startups and new ways and business models. And so this is one perspective I have. The second perspective I have is one of having written a book, Web 2.0, a strategy guide that actually got a lot of interest in all over the world. In fact, it's published in 7 or 9 different languages and in China as well. So I have gotten a lot of feedback from different companies as well as business managers as to what is going on in their sector and what are some of the challenges and some of the opportunities that they are seeing. So I'm going to try and share a few of those with you today. Let's start by looking at what is Web 2.0. How many of you think that you know what Web 2.0 is? You should raise a hand because all of us, right, have used all of the things that are in the second generation of the web. However, I make a very, very specific and bold claim. I claim to know when Web 2.0 started. So, for example, we had the web since really 1995 when Netscape, who created the first internet browser that became popular, went public. So from 1995 to 2005, I consider to be the first decade of the web. And the reason I say that 2005 was the crossover point, the time that Web 2.0 started, is because something very, very important happened in 2005. It was the crossover point for more data, more bits being uploaded to the web than downloaded. So what does that mean? What does it mean to have a situation in 1 year's time that there was more data that was being shared and contributed, usually by users, to the web versus being downloaded and being taken from the web from corporate websites or from websites that were put up by businesses? It's a very, very important distinction because you go from being a very passively used web to one that's extremely active, where people are contributing and people are feeling comfortable about sharing. So an idea of going from a taker, someone who takes things from the web and from the digital cyber world, to someone who contributes or gives and shares with the web. So very important distinction. Now, 2005 was also the year that Time magazine said the person of the year was whom in the picture? Every one of you, right? So indeed, every individual out there who was connected to the web was actually the person of the year because they were controlling the web and they were controlling its destiny. They were the ones who were contributing what? All these digital bits that were in the form of personal photos, videos, YouTube, all of these things, music, all of these things were contributing to the second generation of the web that was starting up at that point. I think the other thing that was very interesting is that is the point at which we really started to see a shift from taking physical goods, photos that used to be analog, photos and music that used to be played on analog players, to being digital. So all of these things were being digitized and put on the web. So that was an important aspect as well, that we were moving from the analog world, the physical world, to the digital world. And along with that move came digital economics, because the digital world has a very, very different characteristic in it than the physical world. And I'll explain that. For example, if I'm a producer as a business person of a car, let us say, or a t-shirt, and I make this physical product, I can then sell it. But usually I can sell it only to one person. If I've sold you my t-shirt or my car, can I go ahead and sell it again to someone else? Is this legal? No, it wouldn't be, because I've received some kind of price from you for the t-shirt that I've sold you. However, if I create a digital good, product or service, for example, I decide to sing a song and create a song, or play a game and create a digital item like a weapon or some furniture for my homepage, I can then use those digital bits and sell them not only to you, but to you, and every one of you in this room, can't I? So I've just multiplied the revenue that I can get from that one digital good by all the people that I sold it to. So that's one thing to start with. And there really isn't very much cost to me, is there, if that one digital good is distributed on the web easily, or in fact, if it's distributed as software is, virally. So for example, one of the things that Facebook did that really made social gaming come to pass in the States was that I could create a game and not only sell it or distribute it to each of you, but with the click of your Facebook friend list, you could then distribute that piece of software, whether it be a game or a piece of music, to 300 of your friends. Now call that a very multiplicative kind of economics. Now I've added value, not just by adding a little bit of value, I've multiplied my value dramatically, because not only can I almost freely distribute copies of my original work, but each of you can now distribute copies to everyone you know in your social network. So that's where the power or the exponential nature of networks come in, and the web, and that's why it's so powerful in generating a whole new kind of economics. So it's also funny because physical goods, if I create a t-shirt, it stays the t-shirt that I created. On the other hand, if each of us puts something into the web, we can now cut, slice, dice, change that digital product in many different ways. And by doing that, come up with new combination products that can be sold for other prices. So there's an infinite variety of things you can do with digital goods that you cannot do with physical goods. And that is part of the reason why every one of us becoming an uploader or someone who creates or publishes digital goods makes each of us an entrepreneur, a potential moneymaker on the web, because we have the means to distribute our product and also to get paid digitally on the web as well.